Here. We are calling this episode Remember When. I used to ask my grandmother to tell me about the olden days, and she would share stories about how times had changed during her lifetime. How they went from horseback to cars, from wells to running water in the house, from outhouses to indoor plumbing in her lifetime, and I loved her stories.
Grab bag.
Okay. Have you got something?
You said outhouse.
Oh, yes.
Okay, now how did people go to the bathroom before outhouses? What did they use to wipe?
I know.
Ta-da!
Oh, well, that's helpful. I always thought it was a Sears catalog.
They had to use leaves.
Before the outhouses, yeah.
Yeah, before the outhouses.
Yeah.
And then when they got in the outhouses and made toilets, they're like, wait a minute, we're in an outhouse. There's no leaves in the outhouse.
And so
the
Sears
toilet paper
Oh,
got invented.
well, before that though, it was the Sears catalog. Remember?
So
they'd go
used
into the Sears catalog and they could read and then use it for
Oh no, I did
tissue.
not know that.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
That's why toilet paper, these two go together.
Yes, they do.
Remember when?
I loved my grandmother's stories, but I love the modern conveniences that we have now because they make our lives so much easier. We've seen changes in our own 70-something lives. I guess we could share with our own grandchildren about our olden days. Let's talk about just a few this episode.
Okay.
One of the ones I thought about was, do you remember when the Beatles came to America?
Oh yes.
That was in 1964.
Oh, Paul McCartney.
Yes. Ringo Starr, John Lennon, George Harrison. I loved them. We were 11 years
I
old when they
collected
came.
all their cards.
Yep. And I loved their songs. Hey Jude, Obla Di Obla Da.
I want to hold your hand.
Yep. They were a hit. I remember when they came on the Ed Sullivan Show.
Right.
It was a Sunday.
3 weeks in a row.
Did they come 3 weeks in a row?
Mm-hmm.
I just remember the first, we had waited and waited on our little black and white TV. Ed Sullivan would come on and just as he introduced the Beatles, my dad called and said, come on, we gotta go to church. So I missed.
Oh,
I was so angry with him that we had to make that sacrifice, but they were quite a hit in America. Right?
They were, yes. I had Beatlemania up until high school.
I know. They were popular for a long time.
Yeah.
Another thing I remember was we had 3 main TV channels, remember?
Yes.
2, 4, and 5, and then they had like 7,
Seven.
11, and 13. Remember there was, and our TV was black and white, and it was only about this big.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
Well,
and then at 12 o'clock,
yep.
all the stations turned off. The national anthem and the flag played, and then it was like, okay, we're done.
TV shut down.
TV shut down.
It
You're
went
done.
to like a white screen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until in the morning.
Yep. Well, now the kids, now we probably have 600 channels and can't find anything to watch. We were perfectly content.
Right.
Some of our shows were like Gunsmoke, Leave It to Beaver, the Andy Griffith Show, some of those fun old time, Bonanza.
And Gilligan's Island.
Oh.
That was dumb.
It was so dumb.
It was
but
so dumb.
Fun.
But they went on a 3-hour tour, but they have all of these things for a lifetime that they packed for a 3-hour tour. But we bought it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was just fun to watch. I remember watching Dark Shadows. That was a daytime soap opera that I would jump off the school bus, dash home so I could watch about this vampire. It was just insane. I remember when color television came in. Do you remember that?
Yes.
Okay.
And I remember having to get up and change the channel instead of this
remote.
I call it a clicker, and my grandchildren and now my great granddaughter, it's not a clicker, Grandma, it's a remote.
And we, like you said, we'd all line up on the couch and watch TV, but somebody had to get up and change the channel if we wanted to watch something different.
And if you got up to change the channel, if you were the one that drew the short straw and had to change the channel, you had to yell, place back, and everything else,
so that
no one would take your seat.
Yep. And
that was the
it was
rule.
a physical process. Well, now the kids have to do nothing. They can use the remote and watch anything is available. It's amazing. I remember in school, we talked about girls. I guess they didn't think girls were very smart in those days. We took shorthand and typing. I guess they thought all we were smart enough to do was be secretaries and mothers, because we had to take homemade cooking and sewing,
and we had to wear dresses.
I had to wear dresses to school, the cooking and sewing I still don't like to do. Do you? I don't like to cook and sew.
No, I don't do any of that.
I don't want to do any of that. Remember the dial telephones?
Yeah.
Remember the dial telephone?
Yeah, and
kids don't know how to use those now.
No.
You give them a dial telephone, they don't know what to do.
Our phone number started with EX.
Oh, I don't remember that.
EX, and then our phone number. But we had a party line.
Oh, yep.
And our party line was with our next door neighbor. So we'd pick up the phone and listen to what they were saying.
I know. We did the same. We had a lady she'd come tapping on our door because we had a house full of teenagers. And we would listen in on her calls and sometimes just make enough noise that she knew we were all listening in. But yeah, the party lines were fun. Party lines were fun. Remember seatbelts? Long ago, the only one that had to wear a seatbelt in the car was the driver. Do you remember?
No, I didn't even know there was a seatbelt for the driver.
Only the driver. We had 7 kids. So we would cram in the car like sardines. We couldn't have moved if we wanted to. But only the driver was required to have a seatbelt. And I remember even laying in the back window of the car. So when Dad would slam on the brakes, would roll forward, and we'd all be singing "We All Live in a Yellow Submarine," speaking of the Beatles.
Oh.
But so
this was my seatbelt for my children.
Oh, yeah.
They would stand next to me. They're just babies standing up. I would follow a car really fast and then step on the brakes, and so this is a short stop. So
yep.
I put my arm out. Saved them every time.
Well, I think we can maybe share one more little tip. We were in the 5th grade when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. It's like you said, we remember where we were, what we were doing. I even remember the teacher that I had at that time.
How come you remember that I was crying?
I don't know, because you were so emotional. We were in the 5th grade. We were still in the same class, but I remember how emotional you were.
I know. I couldn't stop crying.
It was pretty emotional.
I mean, we're just 5th graders, and on the news they're talking about the president has been shot, and then we're listening to just 5th graders, and then we're listening to all of this stuff going, the president is dead, and then they keep, who did it, and when we had to listen. I mean, it was a big deal, and everyone remembers where they were when that happened. And for some reason, I cried so hard that my teacher set me up a little place at the back of the room so I didn't have to watch the television, and I just got to color. Mm-hmm. But I cried while I colored.
Yeah. Well, we just need to recognize too that our own a presidential candidate has just recently, an attempt was taken on his life. We need our country to be united. This petty democracy thing that they're always shooting at each other, it needs to stop. We need to be grateful for the nation in which we live, and be grateful for those who step up and have the courage to run for offices to lead our nation. So, do you have anything else, Daph?
How much time have we got left?
We're done.
We're done?
Other than like.
Oh, okay. If you like our channel, because we give timely tips, that's her favorite thing, is timely tips. We do timely tips and other things. If you like our channel, please subscribe and like, and we ask that you share with your friends and family, and that really will help us with our wonderful
Goals.
that we
Well,
have.
and it would be fun to hear some of your remember wins as well.
Yes.
Send us some of your remember
Please
wins, and
send it.
we'll air them as well. That would be a fun thing because we're in our 70-somethings, and it would be fun to hear from maybe someone older, or even because we have all kinds of people out there. We have our baby boomers, which we are.
Baby boomers.
Have millennials, which have probably seen some changes, which are our children. And then we have grandchildren who are the Gen Zers.
And they don't like
they have
baby
ideas
They
too.
don't like baby boomers.
Yeah, because we're so old. So, okay. Friendship.
Okay.
Oh, did you want to share something else?
No,
Okay.
well, this will be, we're going to do more Remember Wins, and that's why we would like to hear your Remember Wins.
Okay. That sounds good.
And so we have a little grab bag right here that's full of Remember Wins. And every once in a while, I'll pull something out and see if you can remember when.
Do you want to do one just for fun now?
Okay.
Oh, where did you get that?
You remember when Barbie came out?
And
That was-
Ken. It was Cat's Ken.
That's Ken.
That's Ken.
But that was in the 50s.
I remember as little girls playing with Barbie and Ken.
Yeah. You know what I did?
He even has hair. Mine were always
Bald.
Yeah.
You know what I did? My mom, I got for Christmas, there was a Barbie that had a ponytail, and then they came out with a Barbie that had short hair, and it was really cute. I wanted the short hair one. Well, my mom got me the one with the ponytail. And so I went to Woolworths. It was just a regular
It's like a dime
store. And in those days, they were worried about people stealing, and so the packages were open. And so I just pulled up, saw Barbie that had the hair that I wanted, and so I just picked up the top of the box, took the head,
and helped yourself.
and I went home and threw my ponytail one away in the bushes and
Popped on the new head.
Yep.
Well, there
and
you
then
go.
and then I didn't like her because I knew I'd stolen her head.
It takes the joy out of it when you're a thief.
Yeah. Takes it. So, timely tip: do not steal heads.
Thank you. Friendship
Friendship.
is the perfect blendship. When other friendships have been forgot, ours will still be hot. Do do do
Pop, pop, pop.
do do do. See you next time.